Okay, class, good day. So, our topic for today is about police personnel and record management. So, this subject is under Law Enforcement Administration. Okay, so on this subject, no, from the subject name itself, no, we are going to discuss what are the subtopics and the ideas under police personnel and then under records management. So records management uh, as a general term, then records management in the Philippine National Police. Okay, so let me close these sub-branches first. So the style of my discussion is by using a mind mapping tool. So this is a mind mapping tool. Okay. So you can find here the main topics. Okay. The first one is about foundation of police organization and management. So basically, it is all about theories on management. Okay. So under this, we can find different approaches in management. We have here the classical approach, behavioral science approach to management, then the contemporary approaches to management. Okay, so next we have the management functions, the post-decors. Okay, so these are the, by the way, these topics are the common questions that you may encounter in the board exam. So you are in the review class, so meaning you are preparing for the board exam. So here I have collated many pointers for you to read. Then this mind mapping tool makes the subject organized in your mind. Okay. So the third topic is about types of police policies. Okay, we only have two according to origin, then according to subject matter. Okay, I assume that you have already encountered some of these, no? Especially this, the originated policy, appealed policy, imposed policy, then these words. But I also assume that it is not yet much organized in your brains. Okay. Okay. Fourth is about awards, decorations, and citation badges. Okay. It is uh, according to Memorandum Circular number 93-018. Okay. Here we are going to discuss about records management. Okay. From a general term to a topic that is focusing on PNP records management. Okay, about police records management. Let me close this first. Okay, that. Then the last one is all about PNP personnel management. So here we have records management. Then I have separated the PNP personnel management. Okay, we have here recruitment, promotion, okay, termination of service of patrolman woman in temporary status. Okay, this police assignment, police transfer, and police appointment. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So by the way, I have links here in the discussion wherein I will be directing you to some YouTube videos and resources so that you can better understand, no? By means of illustration, by pictures, and any graphical content. But of course, in the board exam, no, wala mo'y makita diha nga mga pictures, only words. So, uh, it is not indispensable to view topics in graphical contents. No? Dili kay siya importante, but dili pod neglectable ning mga graphical contents, mga pictures, videos. So, I have incorporated here some links. Okay? So, let's start with classical approach of management. Okay? So, in classical approach to management, we have notable persons. We have Frederic Taylor, we have Henry Fayol, and Max Weber. So, classical approach to management, no? It is during the industrial age, no? Wherein people and machines are forced to work together. So, when the organizations became more and more uh, large in number, no, in terms of personnel. So the CEOs, the owner of that organization, discovered or encountered some problems when managing their personnel. So some of the scientists or some of the sociologists or some of the thinkers during that time, as what I have said earlier, no, they are Frederick Taylor, Henry Fayol, and Max Weber, devise some theories. Okay? So, as a criminology student, we know what is a theory. So, theory explains a phenomenon. Okay? So, theory explains a phenomenon. It is an speculation, no? Na nag-explain to some phenomenon. Okay? Like in criminology, na you have encountered many theories, the classical, labeling theories, strain theory. Those are theories that explains why criminal acts happen or why criminality happens, why some people commits crime. So here in management, so they theorize, okay, how an effective organization can be managed. Okay, so classical approach mainly focus on aspects of organization and ignoring human aspects. No, it is an opposite of here this behavioral science approach. Okay, so they focus on the organization. They doesn't focus on the motivations then uh, uh, of the personnel. Okay, they do not focus on the motivations and the views of the personnel in the organization. So they are mainly focused on the organization, on the hierarchy, on how that complex system of people works in the organization. Okay? So, classical approach views an organization as a machine and employees as a various parts of that machine. Okay? They consider those people, those personnel as part of the uh, great machinery within an organization. Okay, the classical approach to management focuses on centralized authority, labor specialization, and incentives to optimize productivity in an organization. Okay, so it advocates financial rewards, wage hikes, and incentives to encourage employees to be more productive. When employees work hard and function to their full potential, organizational efficiency increases. Okay? So according to classical approach, when employees work hard and function to their full potential, organizational efficiency increases. Okay? They are studying how to make an organization efficient. Okay? Uh, Taylor, Fayol, and Weber were the three primary components of classical theory of management. So remember that three names. Okay? So here, uh, things that you may encounter in the board exam is this. Okay? Example of the question wherein they are asking what is classical approach. Okay? They can use this. Okay? Mainly focus on organization, or they can use this also. Okay, centralized authority, labor specialization, and incentives. Okay, that words can be combined into a question, then the answer will be classical approach. Okay, so it is better that you understand the basics of that management approach, because when the examiner combined, then rumble the words, then still you can identify that that is classical approach to management. Okay, so we have Max Weber. So he devised the bureaucratic management. Okay, when you hear the word bureaucratic management, uh, I assume you must inculcate in your mind that it is about Max Weber. Okay, so according to Max Weber, okay, uh, take a look here. No, it says that bureaucratic management focuses on making a hierarchy of management with clearly defined rules and regulation. So this is the key word, hierarchy of management. As you can see, as you can observe in many organizations, we have this what we call as hierarchy, especially in the Philippine National Police. No? Philippine National Police has an a hierarchy of manager. Okay, so it is clearly defined what a police colonel duty, what Directorate for Personnel and Records Management duty. No, according to this, they have rules and regulations clearly on each hierarchy. So that is bureaucratic management. So the keyword is hierarchy of management. Okay. So the father of modern sociology, Max Weber, developed the branch called bureaucratic management. According to this branch of classical theory, an ideal organization or bureaucracy has a hierarchical structure of management with clearly defined rules and regulations. Labor is divided and relationships are impersonal. Okay, so labor is divided. Okay, every personnel has their own duty that makes up the whole organizational machinery. Okay, this ensures order and uniformity throughout an organization, producing a specialized workforce. Okay, hierarchy of authority where its lower office is under the control and supervision of a higher one, wherein Max Weber explains that lower offices is under the control of a supervisory office, no, the higher one. For example, police stations are under the police provincial office. Police provincial office is under the regional office of the PNP. Okay, the police regional office. Okay, so that is uh, what he means by devising this theory. Okay, maintenance of interpersonal relationships, because rational decisions can only be made objectively and without emotion. Okay, you cannot use your emotion in this bureaucratic management because they have their own clearly defined rules and regulations. Okay, They have memorandums. They have their own uh, rules inside of the organization. So emotions cannot be the basis of decisions within this organization. So the basis is their defined rules and regulations. No emotions should be having a place in this organization. Okay, selection and promotion based on competence, not on irrelevant consideration. Okay, this can be another keywords that may the examiner choose in the board exam. So that is bureaucratic management by Max Weber. Okay, scientific management by Frederic Taylor. So focus here, focus on worker capabilities and skill set. Proper way of making the job is scientific management in a very basic sense. No? The supervisor closely supervises any personnel of the organization. Kung ako ang supervisor, I will go to all of the personnel and supervise all their action. And I will devise a way, if that personnel is already doing his job or her job, I will correct him or her and give him the proper way of making the job. Okay? So scientific management by Frederic Taylor explains that a supervisor closely monitors or closely uh, supervises the person making the job. Okay? So Frederic W. Taylor is known as the father of scientific management. This branch of classical theory focuses on scientific methods and empirical research to examine the most effective methods to accomplish a specific task. Okay, keyword, examine the most effective methods to accomplish a specific task. Okay, so it aims to extract the best out of every employee by assigning jobs based on employee skill set and competency. Workflow is divided between managers and employees. Managers strategize, train, and monitor employees. Employees perform their assigned roles. Okay? So it is focused on methods on increasing worker productivity. Okay? So if workers were taught of the best procedures with pay tied to the output, they would produce maximum efficiency. Okay? So according to this, kung ang sweldo daw is attached to or based on the output, then that personnel will do at his best or at her best because he knows that his wages, the money that he can get on that job, is based on the output. So the better the output, the better the wage or the better the money that he can get on that said job. Okay, so the third is administrative management or management process theory by Henry Fayol. They are focused on managerial position. So here in scientific management, Frederick Taylor focuses on every personnel, no, supervising all the jobs that they do and ensures that it is uh, well done and it is done skillfully. Okay, so here Henry Fayol focuses only on the managerial position. Okay, so according to him, managerial position is the most important to um, have a focus on because managerial positions uh, handles those below them. Okay, so the main proponent of administrative management branch of classical theory was Henry Fayol. French industrialist administrative management aims to improve organizational productivity by focusing on methods that manager can use to synchronize internal processes. Fayol believed managerial practices are key to driving efficiency in organizations. Therefore, this branch seeks to heighten managerial performance instead of individual worker efficiency. So, uh, Henry Fayol focuses on the managers. Okay, so what are the managerial duties? Okay, here we are planning, organization, command, coordinate, and control. So that is according to Henry Fayol. So uh, with Gulick and Orwell, we have the post-decurve. Okay, so it is very common also in the board exam. So what is the meaning of post-decurve? We have planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. Okay, we will discuss that further under here, the management function. Okay, that is the idea of Golik and Orwell. So they emphasizes on principles of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. Okay, so I think nothing is confusing about this topic, the classical approach in management. So we have here important terms and their classical approach of management. We have division of work, okay, from the word itself, no? So just a tip for you, uh, fellow physicians and reviewees, no? So our ancestor criminologists or sociologists will not call anything as that if it doesn't represent the meaning of that. So it will not be called as division of work. It will be not called born criminals. It will be not called as centralization if it doesn't represent what is the meaning. Kay maglisod sila. Dili nila tawagon na og division of work kung wala na siya kalabutan sa word nga division o sa word nga work. Okay? So, division of work meaning gi-divide ang trabaho sa matag usa-usa. That is the meaning of division of work. Okay? Authority and responsibility. So, those who are above have the authority, and of course, they also have the responsibility and their uh, area of responsibility or personnel of responsibility. That is authority and responsibility. Then unity of command, they have their own rules, regulations under the organization. Unity of direction, uh, any higher official that says something must be followed. Then subordination of individual interest to general interests. The interest of the employee shall not take precedence over the organization. Okay, so that is the keyword. Okay, remuneration of personnel. That is about compensation. Okay, it should be fair for both employee and employer. Okay, centralization. Pursue the optimum utilization of the capabilities of the personnel. Okay, keyword optimum utilization of capabilities of personnel. Scalar chain or chain of command, the hierarchy of authority from top to bottom. So as I have said, uh, classical approach to management, especially those that is explained by Weber in his bureaucratic management, he have that what he called as hierarchy. Okay, so the word scalar chain or chain of command is very common also. Okay, hierarchy of authority from top to bottom. Okay, so order, material, and human resources should be in the right time and right place. Okay, organized. So in order. Equity, employees should be treated with kindness and justice. Okay, stability of personnel tenure. The employee needs time to adjust to a new job and reach a point of satisfaction. Okay? Initiative, the ability to conceive and execute the plan. Then Spridicor, harmony and teamwork are essential to effective organization. Okay? Keyword harmony and teamwork. Okay? That is Spridicor. Let's close this. So next we have behavioral science approach to management. So I will share to you a video link later, no, para makita ninyo. Behavioral science approach. Okay. So behavioral science from the word behaviors. Now here, the managers, the CEOs, and the owners of the companies uh, did not focus mainly on the organization as a machinery. So then on, they focuses on behavioral. So they focus on motivations. They focus on this, the hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. Then the two-factor principles, how the person is satisfied or dissatisfied with his or her job. That is behavioral science approach to management. So let's start. It utilizes scientific method as the foundation for testing and developing theories about human behavior that can be used to guide and develop managerial policies and practices. Okay, the behavior-based approach to management focused on individual worker, such as motivations, behaviors, social systems, and etc. It incorporated aspects of psychology, motivation, and sociology. So, behavioral science approach focuses now on behaviors, social system. Unlike in classical approach, no, the CEOs, the owners, and managers of the company doesn't focus on behaviors and motivations of their personnel. So many personnel during that time is dissatisfied with their work. Okay, so that is classical approach. So behavioral approach. Okay, we have some major early contributors. Okay, so very common. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That is the pyramid that is shown by Abraham Maslow. Okay, so let me add a link here. So I will let you watch these videos later after the discussion. Okay, so Abraham Maslow devised a pyramid showing to you the hierarchy of needs. Okay, so Maslow suggested basic classes of needs or motives influencing human behavior. These motives are biological, safety, love, cognitive needs, self-esteem, aesthetic, and self-actualization. That is Abraham Maslow's theory. So it is significant to police manager because he will consider human needs as a factor in making decisions which affect human relationship in this organization. So to better illustrate this, later I will show to you a video. Okay, so the important here is the word hierarchy needs. Okay, so it is almost synonymous with the word Maslow because it is a very common, very famous theory. Okay, the hierarchy of needs. Okay, this is also very common in board exam. So um, most of the time, most of the board exam, this theory will occur as a question. Okay, so next, Frederic Hurstberg, two-factor principle. So the first factor is improving satisfier. Factors increases job satisfaction. Improving uh, the satisfier. Okay, you motivate your employees. That is the first of the two-factor principles. So second, improving the hygiene factors decreases job dissatisfaction. So this focuses on job satisfaction. This focuses on job dissatisfaction. Okay? Satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Okay? According to this first factor of the two-factor principle, to increase satisfaction to the job, you must uh, consider the achievements of the personnel. So you should recognize them. Okay? You should give them responsibility over their work so that they can improve, they can grow on that responsibility. So they must be allowed to work by themselves. Okay? Advancement by means of training, seminars, and courses. Okay? That is also called as personal growth or advancement in the organization. Okay, so how to decrease job dissatisfaction? Okay, so persons are dissatisfied with their job. How can you decrease that dissatisfaction? Okay, so you would uh, improve the working condition, the co-worker relations, policies and rules, supervisor quality, then base wage or their salary. That is how you can decrease the dissatisfaction on the job. Okay, so next is very common theory also. Okay, theory X and Y by Douglas MacArthur. We have also a video later. Okay, only two. They are theory X and theory Y. So Theory X assumes that employees are inherently lazy, tapulan daw, then they will avoid work if they can, and that they inherently dislike work. So the main uh, focus daw of an employee of the personnel under the organization is to gain monetary uh, or to gain money from that organization. So Theory X assume that ang mga employees daw is inherently lazy, mga tapulan, o kung naa sila'y time nga molikay ana nga trabaho, himuon na nila. So this is very common, no? Okay, theory X is very common, especially you can observe this in your intern days because I am also this lazy and a person who avoids work. Okay? So, mga tapulan daw tong mga employee, dayon, they will avoid the work if possible. That is theory X. While theory Y assumes employees may be ambitious and self-motivated and exercise self-control. So, according to survey, no, computer engineers, then mechanical engineers in foreign countries mostly prepare joining the SpaceX. Thus, that SpaceX is a company owned by Elon Musk, no? The world's richest person, a billionaire. Okay? Why they want to join the SpaceX? Because they are motivated by the vision of that company. Okay? SpaceX vision is to make the human species multi-planetary. So SpaceX wants to colonize Mars. So I think that is very interesting life wherein we can colonize Mars. We can travel from Earth to Mars someday. So according to Elon Musk, it will happen within a period of 10 years. Okay, can you imagine that? So according to this, that theory Y of Douglas MacGregor, that assumes that employees may be ambitious and self-motivated. So it can also be noted that if the personnel of the organization is self-motivated, then that organization is highly productive. Okay? If the persons under that organization, no, just imagine in police service, if all people are self-motivated to fulfill their job to enforce the law, prevent control crime, then protect lives and properties, then the police work will be a very productive type of organization. Okay, that is theory Y. But unfortunately, we have theory X. Okay, we cannot disregard this in an organization, no, theory X, because there is always a person that avoids the work, no, person that only money matters. That is theory X and theory Y of Douglas McGregor. Okay, so here managers believe that their employees are working just to earn a living. Okay, so supervise the organization closely. Okay, so theory Y, when employees are ambitious, that organization exceeds the expectation. So next, we have David McClelland, the needs theory. Okay, the David focuses on managers. So he means managers when explaining about this. So need for power, desire to influence or control others. Okay, be responsible and have authority over others. Okay, this is very common. Okay, many people desire to influence and control others. Okay, need for achievement, desire to accomplish something difficult, attain high standards of success, master complex tasks, and surpass others. So when I am reviewing, I have this, the need for achievement, because I have a desire to accomplish something difficult, okay, attain high standards, and master a complex task, and eventually surpass others. I am very competitive during my review. Okay, so need for affiliation, desire to form close personal relationship and friends, and avoid conflicts. That is need for affiliation. That is the three needs under the needs theory. So David McClelland focuses on managers. Okay. So Rinses Likert. Okay. So his contribution to management is the using of the 5-point scale of or Likert scale. Okay. That is used in various research, no? Wherein you were asked, no, especially in thesis, you were asked if how can you rate this from scale of 1 to 5? How will you rate this instructor? Good, very good, and much more. Okay, that is the 5-point scale or the Likert scale that is given by Francis Likert. Okay, Houghton study by Elton Mayo suggests that when special attention is paid to employees by management, productivity is likely to increase. Okay, so it is used by many organizations or managers. Now, wherein they give too much attention to a certain student or employee under their organization or school to increase their productivity. Okay, increase productivity regardless of changes by management. This occurrence is called the Hawthorne effect. Okay, take note of that. Workers do not act or react as individual but as a member of the group. Okay, Mayo demonstrated that employee motivation is heavily influenced by social and situational factors. Mayo, Mayo's findings, let's put apostrophe. Okay, Mayo's findings, referred to as the Hawthorne effect, marked a radical change in motivational theory and management practice. So, just imagine that you are a manager. Then, to motivate or to increase the productivity of your organization, especially the people below you, you would sometimes motivate them, pay attention to what they are doing. So you can say that, oh, you are making the job well, then you are a good employee. So that words, that sentence, when the employee hears that, then he will feel motivated. And in turn, as a result, the productivity of that person also increases. So that is all about behavioral science approach to management. Okay. So classical approach focuses on the hierarchy, the organization, and behavioral approach focuses on the uh, motivation, the needs of the employees to increase the productivity. So contemporary approach to management. Okay. There are two, contingency theory and systems theory. Okay. Contingency theory. Okay. This is a decision-making theory of management. The behavior of one subunit of an organization is dependent on its environment and relationship to other units or subunits that have some control over the consequences desired by that subunit. Okay, so it is about decision making now, of the subunit. So contingency can also it is also a synonym of emergency. So when you hear the word contingency plan or contingency theory, it is all about a certain situation that arise within an organization. Okay, so according to this, subunit organization depends on its environment and relationship to other units. So that is the key word. Okay, system theory. An organization is a system consisting of a number of interdependent parts functioning as a whole for some purpose. This part might include inputs, a transformation process, outputs, feedback from the customers, then and the environment. Okay. An organization is generally considered to be open and organic with the subpart or subsystem interacting. Okay. Systems theory, the organization can be productive if they have produced an input, then they by that inputs they produce some outputs. Okay. That outputs will be given to the end users, then they will have that feedback. Okay, that feedback will be used to increase organizational productivity. So their focus, and their contemporary approach is one of these is the feedback mechanism. Okay, by using the feedbacks. Okay, for example, in police organization, so the end users are the public. So, what is the public sentiments to the police organization? That is how we can uh, measure the police efficiency by that feedback. So, if the community said that the police is inefficient and productive, then that's their feedback. Though, we will use that feedback to increase organizational productivity. Okay, that is the systems theory. Okay, so that is all about the approaches uh, to management. Okay, later I will show to you some videos explaining these approaches and theories. Okay, so let's close this. So uh, let's proceed to management function. Okay, so our next topic is about management function. So we have already talked about it later. A while ago. So under Gulick and Orwick here, okay, the post-curve, okay, Gulick and Orwick describe major function of administration, okay, in their book. So let's close this because we have to read this. Okay, okay, on this topic now, your memory is highly needed and including your understanding because this term can be used as a question by the board examiner, no? These words can be rumbled or these words can be disregarded and they will use some synonyms or other words that clearly defines, for example, this planning. They will devise some explanation, some scenario, or some definition that planning is also the answer. Okay? So it is important that you should understand in heart what is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, recording, and budgeting. So planning, process of selecting goals and determining how to achieve them. Okay, that is planning. The examiner may use this term only, determining how to achieve them. Okay, so for example, if a manager is in the act of determining how to achieve their mission and how to achieve their goals and to reach their vision, then that is also planning. Okay, so it is important that you should understand these definitions by heart. Okay, so the way to easily memorize this is by using the first letter. Okay, post the curve. Okay, we use the CO here for that is post the curve. Okay, so next we have organizing. It involves the determination and allocation of the men and women as well as the resource of the organization to achieve predetermined goals or objectives of the organization. Okay, determination and allocation of men and women. Okay, so from the word organize, okay, that is allocation of men and women, including the resources of the organization to achieve the goal. That is organizing. Okay, the keyword is this allocation of men and women. Okay, so next we have staffing, filling and keeping filled positions in the organizational structure. So staffing, we have the staffing pattern, example in the PNP, the staffing pattern, assigning a certain rank to a certain position, for example, chief investigator, the required rank for that is police master sergeant, police senior master sergeant, that is staffing. So making a staffing pattern. Okay? So personnel under the organization should not be confused because on who will do that duty. Because in the rules, there is a certain staffing pattern. Okay? So a PO1 should not, okay, a patrolman or a patrolwoman should not handle chief investigative work because by using our common sense, that patrolman or patrolwoman is not yet capable. So we have the staffing pattern that the persons or personnel who has required rank must do that work. Okay? So, ang pwede nga mahimong chief investigator is kato na pong mga medyo yuyo na sa trabaho. That is staffing. That is what I mean with staffing or making a staffing pattern. So, directing. Who will direct the company or the organization? That is the management division of the organization. So, directing is the overseeing and supervising of human resource and the various activities in an organization to achieve thorough, through cooperative efforts, to achieve through cooperative efforts the predetermined goals and objectives of the organization. That is directing. So, keyword, overseeing and supervising of the human resources and the various activities in an organization. Okay, coordinating, manner of integrating the different elements. So, As what I have explained earlier, uh, according to Max Weber in bureaucratic, we have the hierarchy wherein the organization works like the personnel components of a greater machine. Okay, so coordinating is the act of managers that coordinates all those functions. Okay, so those interlacing uh, duties of certain positions should be coordinated well, okay, towards the same goal or towards the same purpose or vision. That is coordinating the function of the manager to ensure that one duty is interrelated with some other duty, but they are going towards the same mission or same goal or vision. That is coordinating. Okay, recording from the word itself, system of putting what is reported into records and the manner of classifying documents or notes within the organization. It is also very important because sometimes records are the basis for decision making. So imagine when you are in the organization and you are tasked to make a certain decision, but you need to see or you need to examine a certain document, but that document doesn't exist or doesn't uh, keep on a certain box or file or cabinet, then your decision making will be very poor. Okay, because you doesn't have any basis for that decision. Okay, that is the purpose of recording. So recording is also a management function. Okay, budgeting from the word itself, we all know what is budgeting means. Management of income and expenditure. It is also very important for an organization, especially on private organization, wherein lives of many personnel is dependent on how the organization is managed. Okay, in some companies, some organizations is highly sensitive on the needs of their personnel. Okay, okay. Money should flow in a very good manner within the organization because money or the budgets will spell out how the organization functions. Okay, so if the income is not sufficient to make that organization or make that company work, then eventually that company or that organization will be brought to here or their knees. Okay? So when the budgeting is bad, it has a domino effect. Budgeting is bad, the wages of the personnel is bad, then morale of the personnel or worker is bad or is low, then the organization or the company will also do bad. Okay? So budgeting is also a managerial function. Okay? So let's close this. So let's proceed to the types of police policies. Okay? So it is divided into two. Okay? According to origin and according to subject matter. So police policies. Okay, from the word itself, it will not be called as policy if it is not a policy, a rule, or a regulation. Then it is some orders coming from or emanating from a certain source that makes the police organization works well, works in a very good condition. Okay, the purpose of the policy is to make harmonious relationship within the organization, no interlacing duties to make the organization productive, to make the organization organized, Okay, that is the purpose of policies. So there are two types of policies. No, I mean there are two. Okay, sorry. There are two types of police policies. Okay, it is classified according to origin or according to subject matter. Okay, so when we say according to origin, we have originated policy, we have appealed policy, we have that imposed policy. So when we say originated policy, it is policy coming from the top positions of that organization. That is the originated policy. The keyword there is the top managerial level. Okay. For example, in police organization, the top managerial level is from the Pnp, the directorates. Okay. That is the top management level and is intended to set up guidelines in the operation of the police organization. Okay. So, field policy. Policy is born when problems arise at the lower levels of organization and the man in charge does not know how to meet the problem. Okay? So when the persons below cannot meet the problem, he then appeals that to the superiors towards the top managerial level or the middle managerial level. Okay? So appeal policy from the word appeal is problems arising from the lower ranks of the organization. Then they appealed it to the one higher from them. Then that certain higher or top managerial level of uh, position will devise a policy. Then that policy will be called as an appealed policy. No? It is not originally from the heads of the managerial level, but it is from the heads of the lower levels. But it was appealed to the higher. Then, according to that problem, they devised the policy. Then they disseminated it to some other units within the organization. That is appealed policy. So next is imposed policy. Comes in the government in the form of laws, administrative orders, and rules and procedures. So, okay, from the outside. Okay, what is outside of the PNP organization? We have the government, of course. They can devise some RA 8551, other laws that amends that. Then that can be called as imposed policy. So, for example, they are changing the rules on promotion, the rules on recruitment. Then they disseminated that to the PNP. That is called as imposed policy. Okay, from outside of the organization, especially the government. Okay. So according to subject matter, we have two: general statement of principles and specific rules. Okay, when you say general statement, that is policy started in broad terms such as statement of objectives, philosophies, procedures, missions, visions, that are general statement of principles. When you say specific, from the word specific, okay, nothing confusing about that. Okay, it covers specific situations. Example, in patrol duties, investigation duties, traffic duties, there are certain rules about that duties, then that is called as specific rules. It is not a general statement of principles. Okay, so that is all about the types of policies. Let's close this. Okay, so let's proceed to this awards, decorations, citation badges. So I already assume that you have heard about this in your police personnel and records management. We all know that there are certain medals uh, that is okay. We have also that commendation medals and merit that is given to deserving PNP personnel. Okay, so especially those that have distinguished themselves from other police officers. So by means of bravery, gallantry, and academic excellency, then those person is deserving to receive some appreciation, some attention from our PNP organization. So, according to the management theories approach that we have discussed earlier, no, it is important to motivate the personnel and to recognize their very good performance of duty so that they will be motivated and in turn will become a better member of the police organization. Okay, so first we have the PNP Medal of Valor. So later I will also show to you a video showing the images of that medals. Okay, graphical representation of that medals. Okay, so we have Medal of Valor, or, or translated to Tagalog, it is the Medallion ng Kagitingan. So it is given to police personnel for action of the recipient of the police personnel involving conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in the risk of life and limb above and beyond the call of duty. Okay, so that is PNP Medal of Valor. Okay, next we have the Distinguished Conduct Medal. So you need your understanding and memory in this type of topic. So I cannot help you during your board exam. You can and you will always be the person that can help yourself during the board exam. So it is better that you understand this term because our examiner also desires this topic as a question during the board exam. Okay, next we have the PNP Distinguished Conduct Medal or the Medalya ng Kabayanihan. It is for acts of conspicuous courage and gallantry in the face of armed enemy or act of heroism, so notable involving a risk of life, so extraordinarily as to set him apart from his comrades. Okay, that is medalya ng kabayanihan. So it is different from medalya ng kagitingan. So it is sometimes given to some police officers that were dead during the operation. Okay, Medal of Valor. So, but we also have some living Medal of Valor holders. Okay, so Distinguished Service Medal o Medalya ng Karapatan sa Paglilingkod. An exceptional performance of major responsibility duly recognized as such by the service. The accomplishment of the duty should have been complete prior to submission of recommendation or if the person being recommended has been transferred prior to completion. The accomplishment must have been determined to be exceptional or significant. Okay? Bravery Medal o Medalya ng Katapangan or Gallantry in Action not warranting the award of Medalya ng Kagitingan or Medalya ng Kabayanihan. So, the one who will determine this is we have the directorate who is tasked to determine. I think that is also the DPRM. Okay. So, 20 Outstanding Achievement Medal, distinguished or extraordinary achievement for service of advancement of science, socio-economic, technical, and police related to public service of the highest order. That is medalya ng kagitingan, medalya ng katangi-tanging gawa. Okay? Outstanding Achievement Medal. Next is Special Service Medal for eminently meritorious and invaluable service in the field of police operations while in position of major responsibility. The performance of duty must be such of a merit recognition by the service as exceptional. Okay, medalya ng pinagihir ng paglingkod. So, it is a little confusing, guys. So, for you to better distinguish them from one another is to get some keywords. Okay? So, heroism medal, medalya ng kadakilaan, heroism not involving actual conflict with armed enemy. Okay? It's your job to memorize or to understand this, guys, because makalibog dyan siya. Kaya medyo pari-parihas lang sila. Okay? So, outstanding conduct medal for the heroic acts by the individual while in action involving actual conflict with an enemy in a crime situation or life-saving situation, distinguishing himself conspicuously by gallantry and interpreting the rest of life above and beyond the call of duty. Medalya ng katangi-tanging asal. Okay, Medal of Merit, warranting the award medalya ng kadakilaan, not warranting. So, dili siya ka abot as medalya ng kadakilaan for a single act of heroism or a series of heroic acts in the duty responsibility. We have medalya ng kagalingan. Okay, Efficiency Medal. Efficiency Medal for eminently meritorious and invaluable service to the merit recognition of the service by the service as exceptional. Okay, medalya ng kasanayan. Commendation Medal, medalya ng papuri, very common, for demonstrated exemplary efficiency, devotion, loyalty, in their duty assignments. Okay, wounded personnel, from the word itself, wounded, medalya ng sugatang magiting, for having been wounded in action against an enemy as a direct result of an act of the enemy provided such wounds necessitate treatment by a medical officer. For this purpose, a wound is defined as an injury to any part of the body and from an outside force, element, or agent. So, sustained as a result of a hostile act of the enemy. So, PNP Medal of Police Relations. Okay? Police Relations Medal. Medalya ng ugnayang pampulisya. So, don't worry guys. You will see a video later. No? Kung unsay mga dagway ani nga mga medals. But for this time, your task is to memorize and to understand and to determine some keywords in this. No? So, I do not need to explain it very further because this is what will occur in the board exam. Okay, possibly occur in the board exam. Okay, so PNP Good Conduct Medal for conspicuous devotion to duty extended to a period of 5 years without record of punishment, conviction, or derogatory information whatsoever, or mabuting asal. Okay, kung wala kay kaso, duty extended to a period of 5 years. Okay, PNP Service Medal for completion of at least 20 years of faithful and honorable service. 1 silver star shall be added to the ribbon for every additional 5 years of service. Okay? 1 silver star. Medalya ng paglilingkod. Okay, Anti-Dissidence Medal, medalya ng paglaban sa mangliligali for active service for a period of 6 months while undertaking an operation, campaign, or movement against dissidents between January 1921 and terminal due date to be designated later. Okay, manliligalig. So, against the terrorists, the communist terrorists. Okay, Disaster Relief Rehabilitation Medal, medalya ng pagtulong sa nasalanta, especially during bagyo, during earthquakes. That medal can be obtained by PNP personnel taking part during that relief and rehabilitation. Okay, PNP Unit Citation Badge, tsapa ng natatanging unit for acts and services or exceptional devotion and fidelity. Okay, Luzon, Campaign Medal, Visayas, Campaign Medal, Mindanao, Campaign Medal for participation campaign against criminality in Mindanao for at least 6 months. Okay, this is for Visayas and Luzon. Medallion ang paglilingkod sa Luzon, medallion ang paglilingkod sa Visayas, and medallion ang paglilingkod sa Mindanao. Okay, PNP Qualification Badge, mga tsapa ng kwalifikasyon for ability in specialized fields such as water surface operation, underwater operation, airborne, navigation, marksmanship, surveillance, electronic and technical expertise. Okay, that are technical trainings, guys. Okay, you can obtain a PNP qualification badge when you finish such trainings. Okay, that is all about awards, citation badges, and decorations. So I will show to you a video later. Just stay put. Okay. So let's have this records management. All about records management. So later we will also have this personnel, PNP personnel management. But first we have records management. Okay. So I want to tackle this first, the PNP personnel management. So here, your memorization capability, your memory skill is highly needed also. But of course, your understanding of the topic is also required. Okay, so what is a recruitment? So it is the process of attracting candidates who have maximum qualifications to be eligible for selection procedure. So this is very common. Now, after passing the board exam, we will wait for the recruitment. So what is that recruitment? So according to this, attracting of candidates who have the maximum qualification. Okay? So when you have your own company, the process of attracting persons, you want to hire an engineer, you want to hire a chemist, you want to hire a marketer, advertiser, then you will have to do the recruitment process. Okay? In PNP, that is also the case. Recruitment is also the process of attracting those candidates. If you have already passed the board exam, you are included to the candidates, no? So you are here in the candidates. So candidates who have that maximum qualification, you are attracted to join the PNP or any other organization. Okay, that is recruitment. Nothing confusing about that. Okay, selection. After the recruitment, there comes a selection. Okay, so not all that was called will be selected. Many are called, but few are selected or few are chosen. So that is the selection. Concerned with screening out undesirable candidates. Out of those candidates that was attracted to join, those that are undesirable are screened out after they have applied and appointing the best qualified. Okay. After selecting those that are best qualified. Okay. So that is selection. Okay. Screening out those undesirable katong mga daot na mga kandidato tangtangon. That is selection. Okay. DPRM. What is the Directorate for Personal Recruitment Management? Okay. So when we say directorate, they are on the top management level of the PNP. Okay, they are responsible for the recruitment, selection of applicants who will be appointed to the police service. So they are tasked to do the job of recruiting and selection. Okay, tasks in the management of PNP uniform and non-uniform personnel as individuals. So not just recruitment and selection, but also to the management of all PNP uniform and non-uniform personnel. So we also have this non-uniform or the NUPs personnel within the organization. Okay? So, as individuals, manpower procurement and control, and in the records management of the organization. Okay, next we have the screening committee. So, responsible for the widest definition of vacancies and in their respective areas, the evaluation of the applicants' qualifications, and the selection of the most qualified applicants to be recommended for appointment to the police service, established at the NHQ, NSUs, and PRO. So NSU have their own different quota. NSUs, or the National Support Units, have their own quota. And very common, the PROs, or the Police Regional Offices, they have their own screening committee. So they are tasked to disseminate information if there are vacancies. Now, after passing the board exam, you must wait for vacancies. Okay? They will post in Facebook when they have their own Facebook page that they are looking for example, 100 males and 20 female applicants to join the police service. So that is the duty of the screening committee. So they are also tasked to determine the applicant's qualification, okay, and then to select the most qualified of the applicant. Okay, there is recruitment procedure. Okay, so we all know nga dili nga nakadali ang mosulod sa PNP. There are certain procedures. Okay? First, nga, kaga-apply ka, na ay mga exam ana sa sulod. Okay? We have the physical exam, the agility, we have the neuro. So, it explained under this topic. Okay? The PNP Recruitment Procedure. Okay? So, it is the preparation and proper approval of quota allocation. That is the first. Okay? Preparation and proper approval of quota allocation. Okay? It is made by the NAPOLCOM. And they shall submit to the NAPOLCOM for the approval of the PNP annual quota. Okay, that is second. Pag naanay quota, approve ni PNP. Then, next is posting and publication of notice of recruitment. Okay, so first, you prepare ang mga papers that is for approval for quota allocation. So, we all know that 1:500 is the ideal strength or ratio between police and the community. So, until now, it is not already attained. It is not attained, basically. So, that is why many notice of recruitment, okay, as what you have observed, no? Many of your seniors is already a member of the PNP because much quota is approved, okay? Especially last year and the other years, no? Daghan kay mga nahimong police during that time. Okay, so first we have the PPE or the Psychiatric Psychological Examination. The purpose of this is to exclude applicants that may be suffering from mental disorder. Okay, yung mga naay mga disorders sa ilang mga paghuna-huna. Okay, must be done under the supervision of the PNP medical officer and NAPOLCOM representative. Okay? Only those applicants who pass the PPE shall proceed to the next stage, the physical, medical, and dental examination. Because if you are wala na ka nadawat, okay, during pa lang ani sa neuro, dili na ka proceed because it is a waste of time, no? In physical, medical, and dental examination. Okay, so next is the complete physical, medical, and dental examination. Okay, wherein you are examined physically. Magtuwad-tuwad mo dito, tanawin nyo na ba mo yung mga almoranas. Okay? Conducted by the PNP Health Service or Accredited Diagnostic Center inside the camp or by way of mobile clinic or outside the camp under the supervision of the PNP medical officer and NAPOLCOM representative. Okay? So the purpose is to determine if the applicant is in good health and free from any contagious disease kung para makatakod ng mga sakit. Okay? Those who pass this stage will proceed to the PAT or the physical agility test. So physical agility test should not be made before the physical examination or medical examination. Because what if that applicant has some problems with his or her heart? Okay, then they will put the life of that applicant into peril. No? So first is the complete physical, medical, and dental examination. After that, we have the agility. So we have here the medical standard for police applicants. So I need your memorization skill for this. Okay, I will give you handouts after this uh, mm, discussion. Okay, so general appearance must be free from marked deformity, from all parasite or systematic skin disease, and from evidence. So, walay na skin disease. Well proportioned, good muscular development, dili kaniwan, okay, dili po tambok, dili obese. Girth of the abdomen should not be more than of the measurement of the chest at rest. Okay. Obstruction to free breathing, ang dari na sa mouth, nose, mouth, and teeth. Okay. Obstruction to free breathing, chronic cataract, or very offensive breath must be rejected. Okay? So, mouth must be free from deformities and condition that interfere with distinct speech. Shall be no disease of tonsils or thyroid. Teeth must be clean, well cared, and free from multiple cavities. Missing teeth must be supplied by crown or bridgework. Okay? Genitals must be free from deformities and from varicose, hydrocele, and enlargement of the testicles. No, walay danla. Okay, stricture of urine. Okay. Any acute and or general disease of this organ must be rejected. So take note of that. Varicose veins, a marked tendency to their formation must be rejected. Arms, legs, hands, and feet must be free from infection of the joints, strains, fitness conditions such as flat foot, which would prevent the proper and easy performance of duty. So, dili na mo ma-perform yung duty because you are slightly handicapped. Okay? Eyes, applicant must be free from color blindness. So, it is important because if you are going to be on patrol duties, then what is red in other person, it is orange to you or it is blue to you, then it is a big difference. Because when a person, for example, commits a crime, then he or she is in a running spree, nagdagan, imo siyang gikukod, then ninyo ng mga tao nga ang color sa sanina sa tao is red, but red is not red for you, red is orange, then it is a big difference. Okay? So, color blindness and should be rejected and must be able to read each eye separately from the standard text. Okay? Tabunan ng sa kamata kung makabasa ba siya. So, left and the right eye must be good. Okay? Permanent abnormals in the either eye must be rejected. Respiration must be full, easy, regular, ang imong pagginhawa. Circulation, action of the heart must be uniform, free, and its rhythm is steady. Okay? Blood pressure, systole, diastole, okay? Systole, maximum 135, diastole, 90, and pulse pressure is 15 to 50. Okay? Kidneys must be healthy and urine should be normal. Okay, that is the medical standard in joining the PNP. Okay, physical agility test to determine the applicant or if the applicant possesses the required coordination, strength, and speed of movement necessary for police service. Kung abtik ba ka, makalihok ba kag tarong. Okay, that is physical agility test. Okay, after this, all of this process, the neuro, the medical, and the agility test, the next is the final committee review wherein you will be interviewed by the screening committee, okay, to determine your aptitude to join the police service. Likeableness, affability, outside interest, conversational ability, disagreeable mannerism. So that is the final committee interview. So please note, Drug tests shall not follow the sequential steps, but shall be conducted on passers only anytime after the PPE, PNDE, or PAT, but before the final committee interview. So drug test will be subjected to drug test before the final committee review. It shall be administered by the PNP Crime Laboratory. Okay? So, conduct of PAT and neuropsychiatric examination shall be conducted simultaneously nationwide to prevent retake in other places. Okay? Neuro is simultaneous, sabay-sabay, nationwide. Okay? So, complete background investigation shall be conducted on all PPE passers and must be completed before the start of the final committee interview. Okay? CBI. Okay? Complete background investigation. Okay? To determine questionable or criminal activities or violent activities. Okay, we are finished with the recruitment procedure. We now go to the promotion. If you are admitted to the police service, of course, you want to be promoted. So, in basic term, promotion is the upgrading of ranks and or advancement to a position of leadership. Okay? There are kinds of promotion. There are three kinds of promotion. There is a regular, there is a what we call as special, and next we have the promotion by virtue of position. So, regular promotion is granted when meeting the mandatory requirements for promotion. The regular promotion is also called as quota allocated promotion because a quota should be approved like in the recruitment process na may quota for promotion. Okay, so that promotion is only granted when you have the mandatory requirements for promotion. When you have the required TIG or what we call as time in grade. Okay, a patrolman for 1 year shall not be promoted immediately to police corporal in just 1 year. Okay, we have a of grade, time in grade for that matter. Okay, special promotion granted to police officers who have exhibited acts of conspicuous courage, especially those who have took part in the Marawi siege. They are promoted to the next higher rank. Okay, that is special promotion. Okay, promotion by virtue of position. Any PNP personnel designated to any K position whose rank is lower than that is required for such position. Okay, so earlier I have discussed what is a stopping pattern. So stopping pattern simply means that a position should be handled only by a personnel with a required rank. Okay, it should not be handled by a person who has a lower rank than that of what is required to that position. So, granting uh, a police lieutenant became a chief of police of Class B city for a period of 6 months. Okay? So according to this rule, promotion by virtue of position, that police lieutenant should be promoted to the rank commensurate to that if he already executed or took responsibility of that duty for 6 months. Okay? But note, he shall not be reassigned to a position calling for a higher rank until 2 years from the date of such rank adjustment. So when he or she is promoted because of this, by virtue of position, he should not be reassigned to a higher rank for a period of 2 years. Yeah? So because that will become like a mockery of the rule because you know that you will be promoted after 6 months when you occupy a higher position, then some other person, if this note is not enacted or this note is not given emphasis, then many officer or many personnel will take advantage of that. Okay? Okay? So, note. Okay, we have notes about this promotion. Okay, the institution of criminal action or complaint against the police officer shall not be a bar for promotion. So, if that is only a criminal action, so not yet in the sala of the prosecutor or in the court. Okay, upon finding a probable cause, police officer shall be ineligible for promotion. Okay, probable cause is determined by the prosecution. Okay, the second pillar of criminal justice system. So the purpose of prosecution is to determine probable cause, to determine if there is a well-founded belief that a person may not have committed the crime. So that is the duty of the prosecutor. If a probable cause has been already found by the prosecutor, then that police officer shall be ineligible for promotion. Unlike in the first instance, when a criminal complaint, no, that complaint is still under the police station, then it shall not be a bar for promotion. Okay? Provided further that if a case remains unresolved after 2 years, he or she shall be considered for promotion. If the case now is unresolved, okay, he or she was not found guilty, then after 2 years, he shall be considered for promotion. Okay. If he or she is held guilty by final judgment, the said promotion shall be recalled without prejudice to the imposition of the applicable penalties under applicable laws, rules, and regulation. Okay. So after na-promote siya, after wala pa judgment, after 2 years, nagpa-promote siya, na-promote. The promotion shall be resolved. Okay? So, if the complaint filed includes but not limited to violation of human rights punishable by reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment, and the court has determined that the evidence of guilt is strong, the said police officer shall be completely ineligible for promotion during the pendency of the said criminal case. Okay? That is all about promotion. So let's proceed with termination of service of patrolman woman in the temporary status. So we have temporary, we have probationary, and we also have that permanent status in the PNP. Okay, so it is the reason. No, we have three reasons how a patrolwoman is okay. So when a patrolman or patrolwoman is under training, there are ways to terminate that. Okay. So it will not be under the summary proceedings. No, he will be immediately kicked out or terminated from the service if one, there is a grave offense. Okay. Grave misconduct, incompetence, dishonesty, disloyalty to government, serious irregularities in the performance of duty, serious neglect of duty, oppression. Okay, that is grave administrative offense. So we are when you are still in PSBRC, after 6 months, then you will become probationary status. Okay? So wala pa ka na probationary, wala pa ka na permanent, you committed grave administrative offense, then you will be back to civilian. So I have witnessed a case like this in my senior because I am 1502, class 1502 in the PNP. One of my senior was kicked out, terminated because of cheating during exam. Okay? So that is dishonesty. Okay? Lack of aptitude in the service. You fail to obtain a passing grade in PSBRC. Bagsak ka dito sa mga exam. Sunod. Okay? Violation of training rules and regulations involving non-academic matters. Okay? Nag-ambak-ambak sa pader para mauli kadyot pagbalik. Nag-form naman di ay. Then, That is violation of training rules regulation, non-involving academic. Undesirable disposition or attitude towards the law enforcement position. Okay? Yeah, dili ka angayan mahimong law enforcer. Okay? So, next, failure to complete the required FTP. So, FTP is a 12-month program. Okay? So, PSBRC is included na anang 12 months. So, that is also called as FTP or Field Training Program. So, but FTP, we have what we call as Field Training Program. This is just like what is OGT to you, okay, on the job training. After those academic and non-academic activities inside the training camp, you are then deployed outside of the community, outside in the community to perform basic police functions on traffic, uh, patrol, and investigation. That is the field training program. Okay. So, types of police training program. We have the BRC, FTP. So, FTP is included na. Ang BRC included na sa FTP. We have in-service, then departmental training. So, when we say basic recruit training, required that for newly hired PNP personnel, all PNP personnel should be required to undergo basic recruit training. Okay? So, this is a prerequisite for permanency. So, if you doesn't have basic recruit training, you will not be permanent in the police service. Okay? Field training program, OGT, 12 months. It is inclusive of BRC. Okay? Appeal na ang BRC ani 12 months. Okay? Assignment in patrol, traffic, and investigation. Okay? So, in-service training program. Police Junior Leadership Course or PSGLC. This is Public Safety Junior Leadership Course. Okay? After the BRC, okay? Mana ka sa BRC, Basic Recruit Course, we have the Junior Leadership Course, Senior Leadership Course. If you want to become an officer, you should undergo this. The PSOCC or the Officer Candidate Course. For police captains, basic course, advanced course. For police majors, police lieutenant colonel. Then, officer senior executive course for police colonel and above. Then, directorial staff course. Okay? I need your memorization skill for this. Okay? We also have this time in grade. So, you cannot undergo PSGLC if you doesn't have the rank of PSSG. Okay? Police Staff Sergeant. Then you must be at least 2 years on that PSSG, time in grade. Okay? So, the requirements for PSGLC is that you must have at least 2 years time in grade in PSSG. Okay? Kinahanglan nga 2 years ka diha sa rank ka PSSG before ka maka-GLC. Okay? Same with the SLC. Okay? You must have a GLC. Okay? Kinahanglan na kay GLC before ka maka-SLC. Okay? Graduate of PSSLC. Okay? Kinahanglan kung mag-OCC ka, mag-rose from the rank ka, mag-lateral ka, na kay PSSLC. Okay? Pero at least in lateral entry program, no, PSSG can be admitted through lateral entry program. Okay? So, this requirement is for rose from the ranks. Okay? Okay, memorize this because it may come out on your board exam. In-service training program. We also have the departmental training program, the supervisory development specialized or training, specialized or technical trainings like EODs, like CIC, criminal investigation course, and intelligence course that is included in this. Okay, trainings conducted by other law enforcement agencies like the PDEA, NBI, that are other law enforcement agencies. So that is all about trainings. I have included these trainings under this failure to complete the required FTA, but I think it should be, let's leave that What is police assignment? Police assignment is designation to a particular function, duty, or responsibility. Okay, that is assignment. I-assign ka diha. So, the main purpose of assignment is to give duties to all PNP personnel for their effective utilization as a member of the police force. So, all must have police assignment. All must have an assignment. So, if you doesn't have any assignment, you are in RP how or regional place and holding, okay, you are in floating status. You don't have any assignment or designation. Okay, the purpose of assignment is to have effective utilization of members of the police force. Okay, next, who has the authority to make designation and assignment? It is the chief PNP, the RD, PD, or the COP. Okay, depending on their area of responsibility or their scope of supervisory scope or responsibility. Okay. So transfer, then you are assigned to another station. Transfer basically means transfer. Okay? Transfer from one assignment to another assignment. Transfer from another position to another position. That is transfer. Police appointment. We have the temporary and permanent. So permanent, when you finish the required field training program. So conversely, it is temporary when you have not finished the required FTP. Kung wala pa ka naman sa FTP, temporary ka. But if you finish the FTP, you are already in permanent. But when you are undergoing the OGT, FTP outside, you are in probationary appointment. Okay? So that is all about personnel management. Okay, let's go to records management. Okay, memory skills again. You need your memory skills for this. Kinds of record management. We have the spindle file. Okay, so I have a link for this for you to examine the graphical representation of this one, each one of these. Okay, spindle file, pigeonhole, fellow file, vertical file, Shannon file. So you must memorize this. Spindle on the papers may be impaled. Okay, appeared in 15th century. It is commonly used by the sari-sari stores, no, in filing up records of utang, wherein you have needle-like structure ng patindog gali nga alambre. Then itusok lang diya ang mga records na magsunod siya. That is a spindle file. Pigeonhole file, from the word pigeonhole, mura siya og balay sa kalapati. Okay? People who dislike spindle, folded, or rolled, dislike spindle, okay, comma should be added to this. Folded or rolled their papers, wrote names or subject on the outside, and placed the rolls inside a roll top desk or in the series of separate box-like opening. Okay, so later you will see what is a pigeonhole file. Okay, below file, used as sorters. It appeared at about 1860. Lettered compartments, that alphabetic bellows files is sometimes used as sorters. Vertical file, using cabinets. Then Shannon file is still a cabinet-like, but it is much like a drawer. Okay, double-sided opening arch mounted on board with a drawer front on the end. Papers to be filed were perforated along the upper edge and then placed on the arches according to the system. So that is Shannon file. Okay, later you will see that. Okay, classification of records. Okay, memory game on also. You need memory here. According to period of retention. Okay, permanent, semi-permanent, temporary. Not less than 10 years, more than 10 years. That is permanent record. Semi-permanent, to be kept for 5 years. Temporary, no specified period, but usually less than 5 years. Okay, that is temporary. So, okay, take note of this. according to period of retention, according to importance or essentiality. We have vital records, important records, useful records, non-essential records. Okay, in your police intelligence, you will encounter also uh, this. Okay, top secret, secret. So it is much more like that in this sense. Vital records, replaceable but can be reproduced. Important, can be reproduced after considerable delay. Okay, useful records may cause inconvenience if lost, but could be readily replaced. Okay, non-essential. Memorize that. I will give you these handouts for you to study. Okay, so next, according to pace of its life cycle. Okay, we have the current pace, active record, current, okay, meaning it is active, regularly used and maintained. Semi-current pace, still used but not infrequently. Non-current pace, no longer used. So that is the classification of records that is sub-classified into these three: retention, essentiality, and pace of its life cycle. Okay, record security. So record security is very important, no? Especially in police organization, because there are files, there are documents that are confidential in nature. Okay, so especially when a BIP is visiting a certain area, a certain place, then the deployment plan or the implementation plan should not be disclosed to any other person. Okay, so record security and protection is very important. Okay, especially those that contains vital information about police operations. So, by using our common sense, that should not be disclosed to any other person other than those who have the need to know. Okay? So, need to know is simply means that kinahanglan ba niya nga makabaluan na file or record or the contents. Okay? So, record security and protection. Preventive and protective measures to safeguard records, documents in all government agencies from unauthorized and indiscriminate disclosure, damage, destruction, and loss, whether records are filed in current or non-current storage. Okay? Protection of records, we have what we call duplication. Produce copies. Then dispersal shall be included without any additional copies or duplicates. Dili ka maghimo og any other copies niya. That is dispersal. Then vaulting, vital record shall be stored in vault. Then evacuation, original and older records considered to be vital shall be transferred to a secured location. Okay, so that is protection of records. We have four. Okay, record protection level. We have vital, important, and useful. Okay, so top protection security, that is what I meant with vital. So important, second protection priority, then useful, the lowest protection priority. So you will be confused about this because you also have those classification of records in police intelligence, but uh, it has something to do with this, no? It is still connected with this topic. So it is your duty to differentiate those terms from this term. Okay? So let's continue. Okay, case records, it is in connection with cases. Okay, so investigative reports, complaint assignment sheet. Okay, complaint assignment sheet contains data or information about complaints that is lodged in the police station. Okay, so investigation report, you all know about this, the spot report, the progress report, and the final report. We also have the investigation report. Okay, it is the collated or the accumulated reports that is to be uploaded by the police personnel or the investigator into the CIDMS. Okay, a crime incident database system. I think that is the meaning of CIDMS. So, initial advance report, progress, final or closing, then technical report. This technical report is report coming from, for example, from the crime laboratory, from the EOD. So, for example, in crime laboratory, they have concluded that the submitted specimens of drugs that the position items or the drugs in position with the arrested person contains methamphetamine hydrochloride, so they will make a report on that. That white crystal submitted to their office is a shabu, is really a shabu. That is a sample of technical report. So administrative records, okay, records pertaining to personnel, letters, memoranda, orders, and that are related to the efficient administration of administration. So we have personal records. Okay, memorize this, know it by heart. History of each police officer, that is the keyword. Correspondence, communications, classified, arranged, and filed alphabetically. That's its correspondence file. Memoranda orders or policy files. Okay, filed according as they are made available. Orders from the higher officers within the PNP. Assignment record. Okay, uh, appointment record, or I mean assignment record, when you are designated as a chief investigator, intelligence officer, that is assignment record. Okay, other files, other record that is responsive to the needs of the organization, that is other files, classified as other files. So these are the kinds of administrative records. Okay, personal, correspondence, memoranda, assignment record, and other files. Okay, arrest and booking records. Okay, arrest report for each person arrested. Okay, we also have the booking report. List of all prisoners in custody, which contains all information regarding status. Okay, so booking report is a report made by the custodial officer. No, it contains the list of prisoners in the custody. Okay. Prisoner's property receipt. Okay, when a person is arrested and he has in his possession a cell phone, a wallet, any other things, then that is to be given a proper prisoner's property receipt. Okay, resibuhan na siya. Dili na ipadala siya sulod dito sa lockup. Okay, identification record containing identification information, types of identification record, fingerprint, civilian fingerprint, alien fingerprint. So, according to it is the heart of any identification system, the fingerprint record. Okay, Records Management Division. Oversee the records management function of the DPRN, headed by a division chief with the rank of police colonel and assisted by a division chief with rank of police lieutenant colonel. Okay, so DPRN is also supervised by the RMD or the Records Management Division. Okay, record creation is simply the birth of the record. Okay, create. So PNP personnel file, also known as 201 file. It contains, okay, it is a folder that contains a set of personal records. Okay, the PDS, the diploma, the rating, board ratings, that is 201 file. Okay, the 201 file is also color coded, red for PCOs, the officers, okay, blue for PNCOs, then green for daily records of events or the journal. Okay, needed to keep all members of the police force informed concerning police operation, assignments, and administrative functions. Okay, journal is kept on the police. So kanang journal, record na siya of everyday events, no? Example na ina-receive gikan sa higher units, record na dito, nakagipadala sa lower units. All of that should be journal. Okay? Records maintenance, proper handling of records, arranging into usable filing sequence using the most efficient type of filing equipment. Okay? Records maintenance, it includes filing, arranging, okay? So that in the future, kung manangan ang records, dali ra siya makita. Because you know where to find and what to find. Okay? Okay. First, you must know what to find. Then, you also must know where to find that. So, because it is filed, arranged in a very sequential manner, it is arranged properly, so in turn, it can be found easily. So that is record maintenance. Okay, records disposition, disposed. From the word disposed, uh, no record shall be disposed without the authority of the higher office. Okay, it is the transfer of non-country records to any record storage area. Okay, yung mo siyang ibutang sa other storage area. That is records disposition. The preservation of permanent records and the outright destruction of the valueless records. Okay? So, but take note, destruction of records should be under the direction of the higher office. Okay? Closed case and cleared case. Okay, when we say closed case, it is no longer investigated. It is either a solved or unsolved. Okay? When it is solved, a person is already guilty and is put behind bar. That is solved. Unsolved, no other person can be implicated, can be held liable for the crime. So therefore, the case is no longer investigated. That case will be called as closed case. Okay. Cleared case, when one or more person has already been arrested, charged with an offense and turned into the prosecutor or court for prosecution. So, the difference between closed and cleared is that in cleared case, it is already filed but no judgment has been reached. Wala pa judgment. So, the work of the police officer is already done. So, as the first pillar of the criminal justice system, when you investigated an offense, a crime, then it was already filed, then your duty as an investigator is already done unless the court will require you to submit something or to present or to communicate to them, explain to them something, then you must go there. Okay? So, the idea of cleared case, pag naa nagali maaresto, mapailan og kaso, naa na sa prosecution, that is already called as cleared case. Okay, closed case is either solved or unsolved. Okay, when it is solved, someone is put behind bar, that is solved case. Okay, next, other reports or records. Accident report, wanted person report, criminal specialty or modus operandi file report. Okay, so wanted person's report, okay, should be accomplished in 6 copies. So you must memorize this. Pnp PD, RD, Camp Crame, GPNP, to NBI, in Rogues Gallery, and the original copy will be kept in the police station. Okay, wanted persons report. Okay, in filing system, we have 7 filing system. So files can be arranged alphabetically, encyclopedic order, chronological order, geographical order, or numerical order. Okay? So it can also be in centralized filing. Place the records in one central location. Okay? Diha lang na location. Katong mga person nga manahanglan og mga records moadto didto. Okay? So it is the opposite of digital filing. Decentralized filing. Decentralized filing, the records kept on those sections. For example, investigation section, the records for investigation is filed only on their storage. Then operation section, they also have their own. Then WCPD, the finance, the PCR has their own records storage. That is decentralized filing. Okay, So take note, alphabetical, encyclopedic, chronological, geographical, numerical can also be by serial number or by digit filing. Okay, so that is all about my discussion about police personnel and records management. So I wish that I have imparted to you some knowledge about this topic, and see you on other subjects. Okay, goodbye class, and okay.